Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and I am very excited to bring you this insane video that's been taking me hours and days upon days working on, which is the perfect Call of Duty, creating the perfect Call of Duty with my own knowledge, my own research, my own self. I'm creating my own basically Call of Duty game. Obviously, I'm not actually creating a game. I'm just putting down the information, the guns in it, the weapons, the perks, the create a class system, how everything works, what the game's called, all this stuff, kind of putting all these ideas together into one specific game that is, of course, my ideas completely, and of course taking other research from real life stuff in the military, from fictional stuff from other Call of Duty games, and creating what I believe would be the perfect Call of Duty. Not held to any specific developer. I'm not holding this game to any developer. I'm not like, alright, this game needs to be a Treyarch game or it needs to be an Infinity War game. I don't care. This is just my idea for a perfect Call of Duty game. If I was a developer, if I created my own development team right now and they told me make a Call of Duty game right now, we need one, this is exactly what I would make. I'm gonna go through the multiplayer today. I'm not gonna talk about campaign or zombies or any of that sort. I might do that in another video, but this is all multiplayer right here. So from the perks to the attachments to the guns in it to the supply drop system to the maps to the freaking creative class system to the customization with the characters to the camos, everything you could possibly imagine in multiplayer. Game modes, don't forget about game modes, because I'm going to go in depth with game modes. There's a lot of fun stuff with that. It's going to be a long video, so stick with me. So let's start off right here with the most important thing for multiplayer, which is the setting. But before I talk about setting, I think one thing's important is the title of the game. I'm creating this title based off of just, it sounds awesome, to be completely honest. It just sounds like it works for the war feel, especially in a game that takes place and it's going to include stuff from World War I and World War II in terms of weaponry and equipment. And I'll talk about that in the setting part of it. But I'm going to be calling it Call of Duty No Man's Land. I love that name. It fits well with the whole Call of Duty war theme. And I don't know, I thought about it and I really like that name. It would be obviously initialed NML, Call of Duty NML. That's probably what people would call it, like they call it AWIW, whatever, maybe MWR. But yeah. So setting is of course very important for campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. It's important for everything. And I'm deciding to make mine in present day, but in a different type of universe than what we live in. It's not a realistic universe. It's not a universe where we're kind of at the point we are in technology. We're a little bit more advanced in technology, and world affairs are different. How things are going are different. How United States interacts with other countries is different than how it is in real life in this universe that this game is going to take place. Obviously, it's not important for multiplayer as much as it is for campaign in terms of the relations between countries. But in terms of the weapons, the equipment, everything like that, the vehicles, the streaks, those are all important to know the setting. So it's in present day, but a little bit more futuristic. Not too futuristic, but a little futuristic. They have some good technology in there, but everything is grounded in reality, of course. So I would say similar to Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Ghosts, or Black Ops 2. In between those three, kind of like a mix of all three of those. Mostly like Call of Duty Ghosts, I would say, in terms of the like equipment used and how far in technology there is in this game. And so that's very important to know. That is definitely very important. But of course, I will be using weapons and stuff from like the past too, not only the present or the minor future. It's a lot of past stuff. So a lot of stuff from World War II, a lot of stuff from Vietnam, a lot of stuff from the Korean War, stuff like that will be used in this game as well. So what is next? The second most important thing, I think, for multiplayer is the creative class system. How it's going to work, how it's going to be presented, and how it's going to affect the game. So I'll put everything up on screen so you can really see what's going on here. And I'm going to be going with the Pick 15 system. Now I know it sounds like what? Like Pick 15? We went from Pick 10 to Pick 13 to Pick 15. Why? Well, this is how it works. So this is how you figure out how picked systems work and how they figured out most of theirs. So what is the default class for any Call of Duty prior to Black Ops 2? Default class has one primary, with 2 attachments, 1 secondary with 1 attachment, 1 perk, or 3 perks, 1 perk 1, 1 perk 2, 1 perk 3, and then 1 tactical, 1 lethal. That is up to 10 items right there. And what they do is they add in things, and every time they add in something else, they add a point to it, and it goes up in points, and you can, either use those points respectively, or you can not use those new points, and you can put them towards more attachments or whatever it may be. So in this pick 15, we have primary and 5 available attachments. So you can put up to 5 attachments. It's not split up like it is in Black Ops 3, where it's like 1 reflex or 1 sight and then 5 regular. No, I'm just talking 5 attachments. That's it for primary, which is a lot, trust me. And you don't need wild cards. I'm not, enforcing wild cards, which allows every time you want an extra perk, you have to add on 2 extra points, basically. That's not a thing here, because how it works out, it ends up being, it ends up working just fine. So that's that. Secondary, you get up to 3 attachments. Melee weapon. Now, melee weapon is a slot. You either don't put anything there, which if you don't put anything there, you will hit the butt of your gun when you melee, just like you have been since Black Ops 3. They had that new melee system where you hit the butt of your gun. You either do that, or if you add a melee weapon, it'll be in spots of your melee, and so when you melee, it'll use the melee weapon, or you can hold down the one of the D-pads and it'll take it out, just like it would in Modern Warfare Remastered. And you can pull out the melee weapon and use it, as well as keep it. But it has to be a one-handed melee weapon. There are going to be one-handed melee weapons as well as two-handed melee weapons. The one-handed melee weapons are the ones that go in the slot. But if you want to use a two-handed melee weapons, it'll actually take up a secondary slot, so it actually be used as a different gun, because of course you can't hold a two-handed melee weapon if it's in that slot. You can't just, it wouldn't work. It realistically wouldn't work. So it's one-handed melee weapons are able to be in that melee slot. And then you get perk 1, perk 2, perk 3, and you get 2 of each. You can pick 2 of each. Of course, it's only 15 in total, so you have to pick accordingly. And there'll be roughly 6 or 7 perks per perk thing. That'll be up to like 21 perks in total. And you'll see. We'll go over perks later. You get up to 2 lethals and 2 tacticals and 1 equipment. So I'm doing something similar to Black Ops 1 here, where there's equipment separate to lethals, and you'll see why. You get up to 4 score streaks, so you can use 3, 2, 1, or 4, whatever you want, just like you could in Advanced Warfare. I am having my streaks a part of the class. I do like that system a lot, actually. And as well as you can either choose those 4 attachments, or as for 3 points, which will take up 3 points and you won't be able to get any score streaks, you can go with the specialist package, and I'll talk about how that's going to work in a little bit. And with each class, there are 4 things that are specific to each class that you select on each class, but it won't take up any points. So this is your big streak. Now, I'll go over what big streaks are. There's going to be 3 big streaks. It's kind of like the secret streaks of the game. There's going to be 3 different ones, and you choose which one you want active on each class. They don't take up a slot, but they will be differently activated depending on which one you select for each class. And there's going to be 3 different ones, and I'll talk about what those 3 big streaks are. Character gear, which each class you can customize. It won't be like you have to customize it in the menu screen and your whole entire character is customized. It'll be per class, so per class will have its own customization in terms of gear and clothing, not in terms of face. In terms of face, will be something completely different, which I'll go over later. Tactical movement is the 3rd thing. You'll select a specific type of tactical movement, which is when you're sprinting and you hold the prone button. In Call of Duty, there's either dolphin diving, sliding. Those are the 2 things we've had so far. In this game, you can choose if you want dolphin diving or sliding. Dolphin dive is going to be more similar to World War II's hit the deck maneuver, or you can do sliding like you would in Call of Duty Ghosts or whatever it may be. Or a 3rd one we added is rolling. So it's tactical rolling. You hold it and you do like a roll. You do a barrel roll forward, and you'll go into prone after that. Honestly, I don't know. I thought it'd be cool to add in. And last but not least, something specific per each created class would be vehicle. Now, I know this is going to be controversial, but hear me out here. There's going to be maps in this game. Of course, there's going to be maps. And each map is going to have 2 versions of it. One small version, which is the normal, I guess I won't call it small version, I'll call it regular version. Each map will have a regular version to it, and it'll be the normal size map that you'd see for a 6v6 or 8v8 game, and that's it. You play, there's no vehicles, none of that, that's it. But each map will also have a bigger version of it, which will be a lot bigger, which will support 12v12, 24v24, which I think the highest I'm going to go is 24v24. And these are like the big size maps. Not as big as like Battlefield, maybe like half or like a quarter Battlefield type maps. Not too crazy. Like picture Stonehaven. Stonehaven times 3. 3 Stonehavens. It will be like the biggest size map you'll see. And it'll support like 16v16, 24v24, stuff like that. And will include vehicles. There'll be wide open areas for the vehicles to use, because I think this will be very innovative for Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty needs innovation. It's one of the biggest things it needs, and they're not innovating in the right way recently. I think this would be a big thing for Call of Duty. In each class, without using any points, you put a specific vehicle in each class, and you have to work your way up to that vehicle in terms of getting kills. It's not like a score streak, though. It's just you get kills. It's kind of like a specialist weapon or ability that you have in Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare. It goes like on a time limit. It'll eventually get there, but the more kills you get, the faster it goes. And the better your vehicle is, the more customized your vehicle is, the more weapons it has on it. Basically, the more dangerous your weapon is, the most expensive it is the longer it'll take for you to actually get it. So there'll be a whole vehicle customization shop, which you can do beforehand. I'll talk about that later as well. But this is the created class system that I wanted to just get out on the line and explain it before I get into any of the specifics of this game. Alright, now I'm going to go into the list of every single weapon in the game. Now this is including weapons that are going to be in the disc and on DLC, because I don't really know which ones I would put on DLC or not, because of course I would have DLC guns. I think every Call of Duty should have DLC guns throughout the year, whether or not they're obtained through supply drops or DLC packs or whatever it may be. I'll go over how that's all going to work later on, but for now, I'm just every single gun that I have an idea of. These are based off of real guns in real life, also based off of prior Call of Duty guns, also based off of some unique guns that I created myself. I made up. I didn't make up like an image of them, though. I just took images of what I think they would look like similar to, but all the other guns are either real guns or sort of real guns, or from previous Call of Duties, and most of those are real guns as well. So let's get into this. First things first, I have a shitload of guns. I really want a Call of Duty that has a lot of guns. I'm not talking like 6 per class. I'm talking like 10 plus per some classes. Other than like shotguns and snipers, those have a little less than that. But let's get into this. Assault rifles: M4A4, FAD-37, OWFAL, Ruger 14, Honey Badger 27, AKM, AUG A3, SC 2010, SG Commando, M16, AK-47, FAMAS, ACR.9, Goblin 86, AN-94, Galil, STG-44, AK-12, M1 Grand, Splitfire, and Destroyer. So these are a shitload of guns here. I'm going to kind of go through. I'm not going to go through the attachments. Actually, I'll go through the attachments real quick in just a second. But M4A4, full auto. Of course, it's like the M4A1 that we've seen in previous games. FAD, which is the FAD, which we've seen in MW3, I believe, in Call of Duty Ghosts. Not a great gun, but it's not bad either. The FAL, we've seen that plenty of times in Call of Duty. The Ruger 14 is a semi-automatic rifle. It's a real gun, so that's just, you know, it hasn't been a Call of Duty before, but it is a gun in real life if you don't know about it. Honey Badger, which we've seen, of course, in Ghosts. AKM is very similar to AK-47. It's a variant of the AK-47. More of a futuristic version of it. Not too futuristic, but it's like, it's a different version. It's a different caliber. You'll see. Picture on screen, of course. AUG A3 is, of course, the AUG from Black Ops 1 that we've seen, we all know and love. SC 2010 is from Call of Duty Ghosts. SG Commando is from Black Ops 1, but it's a different version of it. M16, we know all of that. 3-round burst, AK-47, we all know that. FAMAS, I don't know what kind of FAMAS version I was going for, but I was thinking just a Black Ops 1 version. Sounds fine to me. ACR.9, Goblin 86 is kind of similar to the ACR. They're both very similar guns. AA-94, Galil, STG, AK-12, M1 Grand, which semi-automatic. Maverick, which was from Call of Duty Ghosts. I love that gun. I think it should come back. And Splitfire and Destroyer are two completely unique guns. The Splitfire they're both going to be like really expensive guns. They're not going to be like, obviously not with real money, but they're going to be like really hard to get. Like maybe you get them at like a certain prestige, or you get them at, I don't know, a certain amount of salvage unlock, whatever it may be. Splitfire is an assault rifle that shoots bullets that kind of spread sideways, so you can get multiple targets at once, kind of like the one gun from Infinite Warfare, the one specialist weapon. It's a very unique weapon. And the Destroyer is an all-in-one weapon. It's not really an assault rifle. I just put in the assault rifle class, but it's an all-in-one weapon. And what I mean by that is you can toggle through the assault rifle mode, submachine gun mode, LMG mode, sniper mode, shotgun mode. You could toggle through all 5 of those options in one gun. And I put a picture on screen already, but it's just an insane, big-ass, huge-ass monster of a weapon. And it's kind of what I'm going for here, to be completely honest. It's just like it's a fictional weapon, obviously. Like some of these guns are that I have added in are fictional weapons. So those are the assault rifles. Attachments on the assault rifles. I'm not going to go through the attachments on everything because they're very similar, of course. But we have reflex sight, laser sight, holographic sight, ACOG scope, thermal scope, flashlight, which is something that Call of Duty's never had, but I think a flashlight would be pretty cool. Maybe in a darker maps, because I'll maybe add some darker maps here and there. I'll talk about that later. Extended mags, fast mags, grip, quick draw, stock, heartbeat sensor, muzzle brake, long barrel, rapid fire, grenade launcher, FMJ, strap, which strap is a completely new attachment I made up. And what it does is it allows you to pull your weapon up faster after sprinting. So we all know people have been complaining about how slow it's been in World War II. Well, this allows you to pull up your gun faster after sprinting. It'd be very useful for SMGs, run and gun type weapons. You know, maybe not as useful for certain guns, but I feel like strap is like a really good attachment. I put it like as one of the last unlocked because of how good it is. Bayonet, which yes, I'm allowing you to put bayonet on your guns, which I think is awesome, and hollow point, which increases your headshot damage. So let's get into the SMGs next. Alright, so we got the MP5K, which we all know the MP5K, it's a beast of a gun. Gustav 16, which is more of like a World War II style weapon. The Vector 38, the Uzi, AK-74U, Galago 960, the MP7, the MTAR X, M1927 Thompson, the Sten, the UMP45, MP40, Scorpion, and of course, last but not least, the PPSH 41. Like I said, some of these might be, you know, DLC weapons. Some of these might be weapons on the game. Most of like the modern type weapons I'm naming will probably be like guns on the disc, and more of the ones that I'm naming that are either like from World War II or from, you know, past wars, or are, you know, like more futuristic, newer, unique type weapons that I've been talking about. Those are more likely to be DLC weapons. So in this list, you know, stuff like the Thompson, the MP40, PPSH, those are most likely to be DLC weapons. And everything in the attachments is basically the same, except for a few attachments that assault rifles have that these won't, but that's basically it. Next up, we have sniper rifles, M40A3, Dragunov, M21, DSR-50, Vulture, which the Vulture is a completely unique weapon that I've decided to come up with. It's like a burst, not a burst, but on my charge shot weapon, kind of like the PO6 or PO8, or was the PO6 or PO8? I think it was the PO6, right? I don't know, but it's like a burst shot. You have to hold it and it charges. It's like a charge shot, and it goes and shoots, and it's a one-shot kill where whoever you shoot, and it goes infinitely. So what I mean by infinitely is the bullet will just go through anything. Like I'm talking, it'll go through walls. It'll go till it hits the edge of the map, basically. So you can literally shoot this gun, but it has a charge shot, obviously. So you have to hold down the trigger for like 3 seconds maybe, and then it goes and it shoots and it just goes through everything in the entire map, everything. So I think that sounds awesome. Just I thought of that. It's balanced because of the fact that it's not gonna have much ammo in it. It's a charge shot, all that, but yeah, you get it. Barrett 50 cal, intervention, and last but not least, the Mosin Nagant weapon from World War II, the bolt action rifles. So that's awesome. And the only attachments that snipers have that like SMGs and assault rifles don't have would be like the bipod or the iron sight attachments, which will allow you to put iron sights on certain guns, and that's basically it. Next up, the LMGs, light machine guns. We have the QJY88, RPD, a melee, M60E4, Lewis gun, M1919 Browning, and the MG42. Same thing, you're going to get bipod. That's really the only non-assault rifle or SMG attachment that LMGs are going to have. Next up, we have primary shotguns. Now, yes, I'm splitting shotguns into primary shotguns and secondary shotguns class because I actually really thought MW2 was interesting how they had shotguns as secondaries. And I honestly feel like some shotguns are so bad in Call of Duty that they should be secondaries. Like in World War II, the two double barrel shotguns, they should be secondaries because that's how bad they are. They're not worth it for primaries, so they make them worthless guns. But I'm going to take the not really too good shotguns and put them in secondary slots. That's basically what I'm doing. So there's primary shotguns, and there's also secondary shotguns. I split them up into two categories, which is something that Call of Duty I don't think will ever do, but I think it's an interesting idea and concept. So first things first, for the primary shotguns, we have the M1014, the Mossberg, the AA12, the TAC-14, the KSG, and the Model 1887. So the only attachments they get that other things don't have, they get the slug round attachment, as well as incendiary rounds, which are the fire rounds that we know from World War II as an attachment. I'm bringing it back in this. Secondary shotguns, I only have 3 of them: the DB8, the Spaz 12, and the Mini Titan. So they're all kind of like subpar weapons. Spaz 12 I know is a beast in Call of Duty, but I'm going to make it not that good in this. It's going to be secondary, so it's not going to be as good. It's going to have less range, less, fire rate, stuff like that. It's not going to be a beast in this because it's in the secondary slot. Obviously it has to be, balanced. Next up, we have the handguns. I got the USP-45, the M9 Beretta, Glock 17, M93 Droidio, TAC-45, M1911, 44 Magnum. This is crazy. This is something Call of Duty's never done. I have 4 different revolvers. I have the 44 Magnum, the Colt Python, the Anaconda, and the 38 Snub. 4 different revolvers. Call of Duty has never done that before. They've only, I think the most they had in the game was 2 revolvers maybe, but 4 is insane. I don't know. I love revolvers. I think they should have a variety of revolvers, and I have 4 different revolvers right here. So I don't know. I think it's pretty awesome. Next up, the only attachments you're gonna get for those guns would be dual wield. I think about that for some reason. Oh yeah, 2 more I missed out: the Desert Eagle and the double barrel pistol. Which the Deagle, we all know Desert Eagle is amazing, beastly. The double barrel pistol is something from Green Hornet. Have you ever seen the Green Hornet before, the movie? The gun that the main bad guy used, which is his name is, I think, Bloodnovsky. It was like Krasnovsky, but he changed the name to Bloodnovsky. He used this like double barrel pistol gun. It was really awesome. I thought it'd be cool to have it in Call of Duty. So that is now a gun. Double barrel pistol. Next up, we have launchers: RPG-7, SMAW, and Javelin 9. Boom, that's all. Specials: these are like special weapons that are in secondary categories. With the bow and arrow, the ballistic knife, and the crossbow. So crossbows have been in Call of Duty for a while, and they've all had, explosive bolts. I want this crossbow to not have explosive bolts. I want it to just be a normal crossbow you can shoot people through the head with arrows, and to be awesome. And if you want to put attachments on that have explosive bolts or tri-bolts or whatever it may be, flaming bolts, I'll add all this type of cool bolts in it as attachments. But I want just the regular crossbow to just be a normal Daryl Dixon style crossbow. So next up, we have single-handed melee and double-handed melee weapons. So let's go starting off with the single-handed melee. I didn't put that many melee weapons. I'm sure I can think of many more, but I think this is like just what's going to be on the disc version of it. I'm acting like I'm actually creating this game like in real life. That's the funny part. Single-handed melee weapons. We have the default one, which you unlock at level 1 and you can use whenever, is the combat knife. We also have the machete, the hatchet, the sickle, the survival knife, the taser, and the cleaver. Now for double-handed melee, which will actually be in your secondary category and not in the melee category, which is, we have the axe, baseball bat, katana, Sledgehammer, Chainsaw, and Lucille, which is a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Any Walking Dead fan will know that Lucille is Negan's bat that he uses. I'm putting that in the game because I fucking love The Walking Dead, so we are getting a Lucille bat in this game. So yeah, that's all that I have to go with weapons, and it's pretty exciting. Now let's get into the grenades, lethal, tacticals, equipment, stuff like that, because that's important, right? Lethals, we have frag grenades, semtex grenades, cluster grenades, claymores, mines, and mustard gas. Tacticals, we have concussion grenades, smoke grenades, flash grenades, 9-bang grenades, shock grenades, and EMP grenades. So those are those. And then equipment. I still am trying to think of more, but for now I have tire spikes, which tire spikes will come in handy for vehicle modes, of course, and it'll also be in handy. And the way it'll be it'll be useful in just regular matches without vehicles would be people step over it, they get damaged a little bit, and also score streaks that are ground score streaks. If someone drives their ground score streak like an AGR over it, it'll be destroyed. Stuff like that. But it mainly be available or useful for like vehicle matches. Some of these things will only be useful for vehicle matches. They won't just be available to that, but they'll only be useful for it. We have a bear trap, which I thought bear trap was really awesome. I don't know why COD's never had a bear trap before. That'd be awesome. Just placing a bear trap down and someone just getting clutched in it, and they don't die right away. They like fall to the ground, and they go into like a last stand mode sort of a thing, and they're just fucked. I think that'd be awesome. Camera, which yes, camera from Black Ops 1. I thought it would be cool to bring it back. I thought those things were cool. I would love to see those again, man. I would love to see them implemented in a new way, though, like a more interesting way. I would love those. And last but not least for equipment, sensor mine, which is like a mine you place down and it notifies you if someone's in the premise, something like that. I don't know. I thought that'd be cool. Kind of like not really. It won't like put on the mini map, but it'll just kind of like put a little line towards them, like a red line will, point towards a person. So if you're looking at it, you can see it. So next up, let's get into the score streaks, because score streaks are definitely very, very important to every Call of Duty game. So first things first, we have the recon drone for 300 points. Now score streaks, how I'm going to kind of work them is they're obviously going to be similar to other games. You get 100 score per kill, 50 per assist, obviously depending on the game mode. It may vary. But I'm definitely going to be more lenient with the points. You're definitely going to get more points more often because a lot of the score streaks are a lot higher costing than they would normally be. But you'll see what I mean. So recon drone for 300, which is just a little recon drone you can throw up in the air and kind of flies around. It looks like a mini UAV sort of thing. Only gives you a UAV, but it's also hard to shoot down because, it's not like you can view it on any side of the map like a UAV. This is literally just a little recon drone that sits above your head basically and will kind of just give you mini UAV basically. RCXD car for 400, we all know what that is. UAV, like a normal UAV, for 500. Missile strike for 550. Counter UAV for 600. Guardian for 650, which is the Guardian for Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. Flamethrower for 700. Sentry gun for 750. Care package for 800. Napalm strike for 850. SAM turret for 900. Dogfighter, which is a dog fighter, like World War II type plane that you fly and you actually can control it itself and you can fly it around. This works for vehicle maps or non-vehicle maps. You're actually able to control it yourself. Attack helicopter for 1,000. AGR for 1050. Pavlo for 1,100. Juggernaut for 1,200. Team Streak multiplier for 1250, which is a thing you call in and it multiplies everyone's streak on your entire team. Like their score is multiplied by I think 1.5, something like that. Not doubled. I think doubled would be a little too crazy, but by 1.5. So everyone gets a short, maybe 30-second, 45-second boost of score, so people can get score streaks even easier. I thought that was a cool idea. Orbital VSAT for 1,300. Team package for 1,400, which is different than an emergency airdrop. Team package will actually award just everybody on the team with one care package. So I'm really digging the ideas that I came up with for a lot more team-related streaks for more team players, stuff like that. So this one just gives everybody a care package to throw down and use for themselves. I think I really like having stuff like that where they support your team, and I thought it would be cool. You know, less greedy streaks, more friendly streaks. EMP for 1500, support ship for 1600, attack dogs for 1700, AC-130 for 1800, chopper gunner for 1850, rolling lightning for 1900. Rolling lightning is something I came up with where storm clouds will come above and a giant freaking like monster ship sort of a thing, a huge like looking like it's like almost looks like a freaking Death Star type thing, flies through the clouds and starts shocking lightning down and just kills people, just kills people, blows up things. If you're on vehicle maps, it'll blow up cars, and just rains hell. 2000, similarly, we have the Swarm for 2000, which is similar to Black Ops 2. It's a bunch of little drones fly in the air and come down, crashing down, blow up, Allah Akbar, kill people. That's kind of how I see it. And last but not least, the highest score streak in the game, score streak, not streak itself. Highest score streak is 2500 for the, just listen to me on this one. Don't freak out. The advanced exosuit. Ooh, before you kill me, before you just chop off my head because you hate me because I just said exosuit, hear this out. For 250 score, or not 250, 2500 score, which is a lot. That's 25 kills. And in certain other game modes, it might be different, of course. You get to put an exosuit on. And you get to fly. Or not fly, but you get to use the exosuit until your death. So you just get to use it until your death. You get an extra health. You get cool-ass weapons. You get just a boost in speed. You become a freaking robotic monster. Now, the reason why I'm adding this in is because there's a lot of exosuit fans out there. I know there is. Not a lot, but more than what people think, at least. And I think it'd be cool to pay homage to Advanced Warfare or to Black Ops 3, to IW, because we probably won't get exosuits for a while. So if I was going to create a perfect Call of Duty game, giving us a score streak that allows you to be in an exosuit, making you feel powerful, making you feel insane, and making you just go around and clobber everybody, would be pretty awesome. People might find this annoying, but it's a hard streak to get. Not many people are going to get it. This is 2,500 score. That's a lot of freaking score to get. Very hard. Next up, we have the 3 big streaks that I've been talking about. You get 1 per class, and it's free. You know, there's no points that you have to add on for the created class. There's 3 of them, okay? First things first, there's the nuke. Just a nuke. It's just called a nuke. Just works similarly to, what's it called? Not similarly. It works similar to like a Moab kind of a thing. It's called a nuke. It's not going to work similarly to a nuke though. And what it does is it's a 30 non-streak kill streak. So you have to get 30 kills in a row without your score streaks. So yeah, you just can get kills with guns, you know, lethals, tacticals, whatever it may be. Just no using your streaks. I mean, of course you can use streaks, but it just won't count it towards it, basically. And what this thing will do, it'll blow up the map and kill the enemy team 1 time. Permanent EMP and VSAT for the rest of the game. So there's just a permanent VSAT, basically, and EMP for the rest of that game. Even if it's just round 1, it'll include for round 2 of whatever it may be. Next up, we have Summon Disaster. It's called Summon Disaster. It's a 5,000 score streak. Kills the enemy team 1 time. And disasters strike the map and kill enemy team multiple more times afterwards. You get permanent team armor and streak multiplier for the rest of the game. And by disasters, I mean like tornadoes start coming down, earthquakes, meteors, just a bunch of shit just starts flying from the sky and just killing people. And people start dying like crazy, while your team is chilling there with streak multipliers and permanent team armor for the rest of the game, which I think would be awesome. And last, but certainly not least, for 75 kill streak, a 75 kill streak, including score streaks, of course, so you can use score streaks to help you out for this, ends the game, automatic win no matter what the score is, kills enemy team 3 times. So you get, if you're playing as a 6v6, you get 18 kills, basically. And ends the game and gives your team an automatic win. A lot of these big streaks here are not going to be very useful for game modes like Team Deathmatch or Kill Confirmed or stuff like that. These are for the bigger matches, and I am very open to adding big-ass matches to this game. Big-ass game modes that last a long time so people can actually obtain these things easier. Because some of these things, like a 75 kill streak, that's really hard to do. Even in Domination, that's really hard to even get 75 kills, just period, in Domination, just let alone get on a streak of 75. It might be the easiest thing, honestly, in Call of Duty history that would be to get 75 kills would be like Shipment, Domination, Shipment, or Nuketown Domination, or maps like that. But like just normal map, you know, maybe most people average like 40 kills, 30 kills. 75 is a lot, but I'm here to make sure I'm adding good stuff to this game, like game modes that last a long time and stuff like that. So that's what I was going to be bringing into my next topic, which is game modes. Now I'm excited to talk about game modes because it really goes into the whole maps thing I was talking about for a while. I was talking about how I have all these two different versions of each map, the regular version and the vehicle version. And game modes play a big part into that because when you play a game mode, you can decide whether you want it to be between 5 different modes. Yes, there's 5 different modes of each mode, kind of. It's hard to explain. You don't choose it yourself. You don't filter it. Well, you can filter it, but you don't have to. You can just go into a team deathmatch game, and it'll just place you into it. It can place you into a couple different things. So you can either filter whether or not you want 3v3, 6v6, 9v9, 12v12, or 24v24. Those are the 5 different amounts of players you can choose for each game mode. But some game modes, of course, will restrict it. Some game modes will only be 6v6. Some games will only be 3v3. Some game modes will only be 24v24. But for these main game modes I'm about to list right here, you can do any of those 5, and you can select it. You can actually filter which game modes you want to play, or which versions of it you want to play, and it'll filter it depending on how many people there are, depending on which version of each map you're going to play. So 3v3, 6v6, and 9v9 will be on the regular versions of the map always. 12v12 and 24v24 will be on the bigger versions of the map, and it'll make sure it tailors towards the smaller size maps for when you have less people, and it'll make sure there'll be the in-game system that'll tailor towards making it a bigger map if there's more players, which I think that'll be a cool system to add in because it'll kind of equal out everything. Game modes. Let's get into it. So for game modes that you can play on anything: Team Deathmatch, Free for All, Domination, Kill Confirmed, Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, Search and Rescue, Capture the Flag, Demolition, Escort, Assassination, Uplink, and Drop Zone. Now you might be wondering what some of those game modes are. Well, a lot of them you probably already know, but Escort is similar to Safeguard from Black Ops 3. I just called it something different. You escort a robotic looking thing to the other side of the map, and it's as simple as that. Assassination, though, is completely different. It's kind of similar to Safeguard. Like, you have to get one person to the other side of the map, but instead of it being a robot, it's another player. So one player, there's a game mode of this, I believe, in Battlefield Hardline. I forget what it's called, like VIP or something like that. One player each round is signified as the, I guess you can call it VIP, whatever it may be. The target. Target would be good. And their team has to kill that target. And you know who the target is? You have to kill it. He has no gun, though. He gets nothing but a combat knife. Okay? You have to get him to the other side of the map safely without letting him get killed. And if he gets killed, the other team wins the round. If he doesn't get killed and you get him to the other side of the map in time, then you win. That's basically it. Actually, not in time. There's no time limit. You just have to get him to the other side of the map as quickly as possible. Or just because you don't want him to get killed, obviously. So that's cool. Uplink, we all know Uplink. It would be similar to World War II's Uplink. Drop Zone, we all know Drop Zone. Hardcore, I would have a bunch of hardcore modes for a bunch of these game modes. And then party games. Party games, I'm going to limit to 6v6 because it just makes the most sense. We have party games, gun game, Sticks and Stones, One in the Chamber, Sharpshooter, Up Close and Personal, which is like melee weapons only, Hunted, which is from Call of Duty Ghosts, if you guys know, remember that. Michael Myers, which is slasher, basically. Infected, Prop Hunt, and Manhunt, which Manhunt is, if you guys ever played Manhunt in real life, it's basically like that, which I think would be interesting in a game mode, to be completely honest. And then I also have 2 separate game modes that are completely separate from, not completely separate, but they're separate from the created class system and stuff like that. And that is War Mode, which is from World War II, because yes, I'm bringing War Mode back, but it's going to be completely different, where you have to play different objectives and scenarios. And I didn't think of any war modes or maps. I didn't think of any because, I don't know, it took me too long to think. You know, just random war modes would be cool. I don't know. And also a Battle Royale game mode. I know you might be like, what? Battle Royale? Are you kidding me? Yes. So on the large vehicle versions of the maps, I was thinking of that. I was thinking of using the large vehicle version of the maps and being like, okay, let's do like 25 person. But then I realized, no. Let's go big or go home, right? Obviously, this is not real. This is not 100% realistic scenarios. But Battle Royale, big-ass map in Call of Duty, a single map just as big as Fortnite's map, 100 players, boom. It's not realistic. It really isn't. But this is my Call of Duty. I get to make it. There would be a Battle Royale game mode. It would be first and third person. You can do either or. I am a fond believer that Call of Duty should do Battle Royale, and as long as it might not be realistic, but I think I would want it. And the war mode would be like different objectives and stuff like that. And you would, obviously, it would be similar to like World War II's war mode, just different, obviously, themes and stuff like that. But the created class I would do differently as well. In the war mode, I would actually make their preset classes that go for each faction, because I feel like that make it add to the realism of war mode in a significant and important way, in my opinion. And next up, I believe, this video is getting long as hell, I can tell you that much. Next up, we're going to go over maps. I think that's like the next thing to do, right? So I didn't go too in depth on maps. I didn't go with like DLC maps and stuff like that. But in terms of maps, of course, like I said, there would be 2 versions of each of these maps, a vehicle version and a regular size version. And let's start with Museum. Museum, I think, just sounds like a cool map. We've had museum maps before, but I'm gonna put some pictures on the screen of what I think a concept kind of art picture would look like. Just like a school museum, just any normal museum that has windows, stuff like that, maybe a little outdoor area, stuff like that, something nice and simple. Arena, which is like a Roman arena fighting area, I think that sounds like a cool map. Waterloo, which would be like a Lenape village type place. Frozen, which would be at a snowy like ski lodge type place. Chernobyl, which would take place in the Chernobyl incident area, like that little carnival that like was kind of completely radiated and destroyed basically by the Chernobyl incident, which of course, if you ever played Call of Duty 4, it would be like an homage to that kind of thing. Washington, which would take place right in the White House. I think a White House map would be freaking awesome. Yorktown, which would take place in Yorktown, Virginia, which, if you guys know a little bit about history, there was, the whole incident in Battle of Yorktown, and I thought that'd be a cool map to take place in. Parkway, which would be in like a neighborhood, like a nice rich neighborhood with tons of houses you can go into, tons of houses you can go outside of, nice cars. So for the vehicle version of the map, it would be really nice to drive around cars and stuff like that. And when I say there's vehicle version of the map, I mean there's going to be like a big map, okay? Just imagine a big map, pretty big. Like I said, like maybe 3 times Stonehaven. And the smaller size of the map, they take a certain part of the map, they close off certain sections to make it so it'll fit and it'll actually work well for like a 6v6 game mode. And boom, there's the regular version of the map. I think that would be the best case scenario to keep it, simple and also keep it new and innovative, in my opinion. Next up, we have Avalanche, which is like a snowy factory, which is right next to a mountain. Obviously, in this picture, there's no mountain, but there'd be a mountain next to it, and maybe every now and then, avalanche would come down and just go right through the freaking place, and you need to get inside or else you die. Greenwood, which takes place in like a woods, basically. There's a creek, everything like that. I think that would be awesome. Maybe you can drive a canoe around the river, whatever it may be. Maybe there's like a lake area to the map, and you can drive skis or like little ski boats around, stuff like that. City, which takes place in New York City. Maybe like Central Park area. Then you can maybe go in a little bit into the city area. Not too far, obviously. It wouldn't be the whole city. That would be fucking insane, but you get the idea. Harbor, which is like a little boat area by the harbor, and Deserted, which is of course in a desert, a military base in the desert, basically. And then last but not least, I wanted to add like a cool idea for a what's it called? Not last but not least, but I wanted to add cool ideas for vehicles. So I added in just like some vehicles ideas that I would come up with. And these are base vehicles that you could use, and you could customize them in many different ways, through camos, through attachments, through engine upgrades, whatever it may be. I have a couple different things. So we have bicycle, motorcycle, a coupe, sedan, SUV, RV, truck, 18-wheeler, sports car, supercar, Jeep, police car, Apache helicopter, SWAT truck, and tank. Yes, tank. You heard that right. But tank would be very hard to earn. It wouldn't be something you could earn in just 2 seconds. You'd actually have to work really hard for it and possibly not get it every game. Same for the SWAT truck and the Apache helicopter. And the other things you'd basically be guaranteed to get, depending on like how many attachments there are on it. So if you're wondering what else I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about 3 more things. Just 3. Perks. Then I'm going to go into character customization, and last but not least, supply drops. So, and how it's all going to work in this perfect idea of a Call of Duty game. Let's get into perks. Flak Jacket in perk 1. This is perk 1. We have Flak Jacket, which makes you take less explosive damage. Ghost, which makes you undetected by UAV when moving. Blind Eye, makes you undetected by AI controlled streaks. Danger Close, explosives do more damage. Parkour Pro, which allows you to jump, climb over obstacles faster, more abilities when climbing. Ping, which takes up 2 points, so it takes up 2 slots. UAV in a small area after killing an enemy. Perk 2, we have Lightweight, allows you to run faster. Hardline, score streaks cost less, and ability to reroll care packages. Cold-Blooded, undetected by enemies, special optics, or player-controlled streaks. Engineer, see streaks and equipment through walls. Scavenger, pick up ammo from dead bodies. I See You, which is 2 points, you regain health faster. Perk 3, Tactical Mask, take less tactical damage. Overkill, carry a primary as your secondary or a secondary as your primary. Dead Silence, your footsteps are quieter. Eavesdrop, hear footsteps louder. Scout, no idle sway with snipers. And last but not least, Minimap Advanced, which is 2 points. Advanced minimap size with more coverage. Now I'd like to go over character customization. I want character customization in this perfect Call of Duty game to be absolutely in-depth. I'm not talking about, Black Ops 3 in-depth or Advanced Warfare or whatever it may be. I'm talking literally customized down to the freckles on your character's face. So you got to go through 2 different character customizations. You got to go through the person itself as well as gear. Now, gear is connected to each class. The character itself is connected to your profile. And you can maybe make more than one character and change between them, whatever it may be. It'll all be on the same profile, though. But the gear that the character wears, of course, is specific to each class. We already went over that. Now, for your character, I'm talking about customization as in-depth as Sims. Only thing you can't customize is height and weight. Of course, the height and weight is going to be the same for everybody, just to make it fair. But in terms of your hair, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your freaking freckles, your facial features, your whatever it may be, tattoos, face paint, it's all up to you. All up to you. So I think that'd be awesome, and I really hope that's perfect Call of Duty, or any Call of Duty will do this in the future, and this is, you know, step in the right direction, I guess you can say. But and then of course for gear, I'm talking in-depth gear like Advanced Warfare style, where you can customize knee pads, boots, pants, shirt, uniform, helmet, glasses, whatever it may be. You go down to the nitty-gritty type stuff like that, and I'm talking a lot of stuff. And where would you get all this stuff? 5 different ways. 1, purchase it with salvage, which salvage is a system that, you know, other Call of Duty's had, which I think they should bring back. You do that. Or you can purchase it with real life money. So, you know, $2 for whatever. Maybe some stuff would be, obviously some stuff would be available only in supply drops, some stuff would be available only for salvage, some stuff would be available only for purchasing with money, some stuff would be available for everything, some stuff would be available for certain, only 2 of those things, whatever it may be. Supply drops, or another way to earn them, you get randomly through supply drops. Another way would be through challenges, completing challenges, and last but not least would be through leveling up and completing prestiges. Maybe you'd get rewards such as different types of gear as rewards. Now, finally, the last thing for this Call of Duty perfect, whatever it may be, Call of Duty perfect No Man's Land video is supply drops. How are supply drops going to work? I already kind of talked about it. I think Black Ops 3, in terms of the salvage and, or no, it wasn't Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, my bad, Infinite Warfare. In terms of the crypto keys and the salvage, you get salvage, you know, for getting duplicates, you get salvage for just opening rares, you know, keys are earned faster, of course, it'd be contracts, earn them even faster, stuff like that. But DLC weapons would not be in supply drops, they would be available through purchasing it with salvage or with real life money, either or, and you can get salvage from supply drops, of course. Supply drops would be cosmetic only, just like World War II, and of course DLC weapons you get through, like I said 100 times, through salvage. So you can get salvage in, of course, some ways like supply drops or paying money, of course. So I think that's the best possible way to do it. I don't want it to be free to everybody, but I also don't want it to be based on luck to get. I want it to be based on time played, or if you want to cheap your way out, pay real money. Either or, I think sounds better. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this long ass video. Sorry if you actually went through the whole freaking video. Let me know in the comments if you actually watched the whole thing, because you're true as trooper if you did. But I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.